825, some great tech stories of startups, entrepreneurs here in the province. Community stories are the name of the game that always went out. Sarah Struther joining us right now, the president of Community News Media Association. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
This was a real opportunity to celebrate the best in photojournalism in our province in the past year. And before we look at the photos, I guess your take on why community newspapers still matter so much in this era where people are consuming online.
Yeah, well, we're online as well, and I guess our readers are finding us in print and online. In most of the communities that we serve, we're the only source of news and information, so we're still very relevant to all of those communities and our readers.
And you're celebrating the stories told through some powerful, powerful photos, so many examples to go through. We're going to get through as many as we can that are finalists with the Ma Murray Award, so let's take a look at this one right here. What stood out to you? Yeah,
well, this is a great photo, a terrific action shot. So this is at the Whitehorse Whitewater Rodeo last August. You can see that the kayaker is about to go under the water. He's just taken a big gulp of air. Yeah, it's just a terrific action shot. You can see that the light and the focus and the composition are great. It's just a real great action shot overall.
And when you look at the need for professional cameras versus what we're capturing on our smartphone, for the photos that are passed your way, do you get a mixture of both that really stand out, that tell a good story?
Yeah, for sure. I think in this case with that photo, the photojournalist was probably standing in one place for a long time waiting for the shot, but we get all sorts of candid shots from people in the community as well as our professional journalists and photojournalists that work for us. So, yeah, it's a wide variety.
You always want to capture the moment. Okay, let's take a look at the next photo. And what stood out to you about I mean, this was such an epic moment.
Yeah, so this will probably be something that several of your viewers would remember. This is the storm that took place last December. So this was on the cover of the Peace Arch News a few days later. It's the Right Rock Pier. And what happened is, several boats smashed into it and smashed it apart. So this is really capturing the moment. In this case, what's interesting is like the editor would be receiving so many photos from several sources, and they'd have to consider which one to use. Here they would want to take a photo that really gets the whole story. So, we're seeing the power of the storm, but then also the emotion of the significance of the pier breaking behind it.
Two different elements of emotion with environment and human condition being captured right there. Yeah. Okay, our next example popping up here. What made this moment extra special?
Yeah, this is another important news that happened last year. This is in Grand Forks. There was a flood. There's about 3,000 people that were evacuated from their home. So this is really the people story. This is the emotion behind it. Obviously, this is a couple that's just been told that they have to leave their home, and they're the focus of the story. But interestingly, behind, you can see in the background, there's some police cruisers that are looking at the floodwater level beyond. Yeah.
A little detail in the back, too. And I mean, when you have these devastating environmental moments, that's one factor to tell the story, but the emotion of what you can capture through the face.
Yeah, this is a very powerful image from Sydney. So the backstory here is that this is a homeless camp at a provincial park on the island. They've just been told that they have to leave, that there's a health concern cited by authorities in the park. There is some backlash in the community. And so this is just in the last moments before they're leaving. So even though there's a story to go with this photo, I think the story, or the photo itself, tells the story too.
I think we have time for a couple more. And when we put these in, I guess overall tips of, if there isn't a news event happening, just a basic day-to-day life moment, what's a tip to keep in mind?
Yeah, exactly. So this is at the West Vancouver Community Centre. It's a Lego competition for all ages. And so I think the photographer here was thinking about, okay, how do I take sort of a straightforward event and make a real visual impact? And so you can see they've kind of turned it on its head and come at it from a unique perspective. And it's going to make the reader stop and want to read the story that's adjacent to it.
Well, it's a nice way to recognize some of the finalists. The Ma Murray Awards go at the end of April. Love the fact that you're putting the spotlight on community stories right there. Sarah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
More of our news stories continue.